Good morning.
Bonjour.
Welcome back, Shana.
It's really hard for us to speak French. I don't know.
Yeah, because
Spanish,
we don't speak
can
it.
kind of
No,
understand
I can't
and go.
speak Spanish. I know that.
But we're back, and we missed you guys. And thank you for being here. Thank you for chatting in, so we know who's here. We do take roll call, you guys. We know who you're here.
Mm-hmm.
We know who you're here. We know who's here.
And when you're here.
And when you're here.
And if you're on time or if you're late, there's a whole list.
And we know the new people, and we reach out and say hello after. So let us know if you're here too.
Yes. So thanks for joining us today. It's great to see you guys.
Yeah.
We have a few topics for you guys today that we're going to go over here. We plan on ending on time, just to let you know. Shauna has something to get out on time for.
Yep.
Just so you guys can plan for that as well. Topic number one that we're going to go over is sealing brick and mortar to protect it from the rain. Well, we're going to share that.
Should we do that?
I don't know. We're going to share and discuss and talk about that.
Okay.
Yep. Second topic is what we can learn from Parkinson's law.
Okay.
And if we get to it, and I'm not sure, it just depends on how much we talk about these other ones, is $550 million home is now available at a discount.
Oh.
So if you have a client looking for a home that is just south of the $550 million number, then maybe you can get in at a discount on that one.
Yeah. We'll let you know.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it'll go into multiple offers.
It very well could, because of the price drop. That would be an interesting thing there.
All right.
So today is Thursday. Thursday.
Pre-Friday.
I know.
That's the way I like to
Week's
look
going
at
by
it.
quickly.
Yes, it is. So let's get started.
All right, let's do it. Sealing brick and mortar to protect it from the rain. So we're going to kind of discuss that and see what you should do.
Okay.
Right now, it's starting to rain quite a bit this
And
time
the
of the
wind.
year, and it's very windy, and that is the key item there.
Mm-hmm.
So I was over at Dave's house the other day, and he had, we were discussing the fact that we just recently recaulked a bunch of the places at our home.
Yeah.
We were having a couple of leaks that were coming in above the windowsills.
Yes.
And like the lentils.
If you guys don't check your windowsills after a rain, you should, because this just, all of a sudden, we noticed water on the floor and couldn't figure out what it was. And it was this window that we never open or check, and it was entirely wet around the whole entire window, all the sheetrock, everything. So
yeah, and that's because it was driving rain that came in at a specific angle.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we specifically want to talk about. So you have your home, and it has the four sides to it, and there's a predominant side that the wind comes in from.
Okay.
And when it comes in and hits it at like an intense angle and soaks it for a long time, you can potentially have problems.
Yes.
And Dave was actually having a problem at his home that he couldn't figure out how to solve it.
What?
Yeah. So what was happening is the wind was coming from the same direction, and it kept getting super wet. And eventually it would soak the whole brick and the mortar, and then it would seep right through it.
So it wasn't even the caulking.
No, it had nothing to do with the caulking. He caulked everything on the whole home. And he had it all super caulked up.
I would say that could be defective brick.
And it was going right through it. It was just a driving rain soaked into it.
Interesting.
And yeah, so he went into the store and he talked to them, and he talked to some brick people, and he says, yeah, it happens all the time when it comes from the same direction. And you have a large wall where it's a lot of exposure.
Okay.
Right? And it's like 2 stories and whatever. But it comes in, it hits the side, and just totally soaks it.
Wow.
And then eventually, with enough rain and long enough, if it doesn't dry out, then it just like seeps right through it, and then it starts showing up inside in different places. There's a void between, but then it comes through in puddles, and you'll see it showing up in different places.
If you guys have any allergies to mold, and you're having allergic reactions, you might want to go check.
So we have a link for you, and we're going to show you off a product that could potentially help you in this situation.
Wow.
But if you're having a hard time finding this issue, then you go with Thompson's Water Seal.
Okay.
And that would help you out. So if you know you have all your caulk all taken care of, you don't have any cracks or any place that water's getting in, and it's just seeping in there magically.
Wow.
Then this could be your answer. So all he simply did is paint the side of his home. You can't see it. It's,
You just roll it on.
Yeah.
Probably super easy.
Yep, just one coat and then you're done. It's a direct, and you can't tell. And he said that it'll last about 5 years.
Okay.
But he said that it was something that when he went in the store, they're like, oh yeah, that happens all the time. And I was
Never
like,
heard
oh,
of
wow.
that.
I
wonder
did
if the
not.
builders, I haven't heard the builders ever mention this. So that would be something when you're at a new home construction meeting with your clients. I would totally ask this because I would love to hear how builders, maybe they seal the brick and we just don't know it. I don't think so, but
Yeah, I don't think they do.
yeah.
But
Okay.
you can go ahead and see how much you would actually need. There's
Oh,
calculators
gosh.
there for how
We
much.
need a lot.
Yeah, and you just go ahead and paint the side of your place, and it would all be sealed off
Okay.
and waterproof. So,
Interesting. Have you
yeah.
guys, have any of you ever sealed your brick or heard of this? Maybe it's just something we're not familiar with.
Yeah, it wasn't.
know, I haven't
It was a
heard
new
this.
thing to me.
Yeah.
and that's why I wanted to share it because sometimes you just have problems. and
We
you
had
hear of
that
things.
issue every time we would have rain and combined with wind. Remember, under our door, we had this issue, and it was like, what in the world? But
Yeah,
it
rain
was
gets
just
in
when
in
when the
weird
wind-
places.
Yeah, it does.
So caulking is normally about a 10-year thing around windows,
Mm-hmm.
and it's annoying because it just dries out. There's not much
It
you can
does,
do
and
with this
cracks
Texas
and-
heat. It dries and cracks, and then water gets inside there, and then it starts showing up in all these weird places.
Mm-hmm.
But you'll only find it once it rains.
And don't forget, we have those weep holes, along the expansion joints too, on the homes. I would say that's important to have filled and sealed.
Yeah. So
Sealed.
if you are starting to see anything that's coming up weird, especially with the high winds, then that's something to look for. So if you see clients that are saying anything about it, or you
See
hear
something weird, it's not just the Halloween.
Yeah, no, it's just one of those topics
Spirit.
that's good for this time of the year.
Yeah.
So maybe just take a walk around your property, and if we're looking at the windows in particular, when the brick kind of comes out and it sticks out just a little bit, there's a piece of caulk up along the top of it, and so you just have to go around that because the water sits on it and comes in there and becomes problematic, and you
Thank
use
you
more
for taking
caulk
care
than
of
you
that
think.
for us.
Yeah,
our
I mean, there's
family.
just kind of things that do go on. If not, it gets inside and it ruins, and it
Yeah.
creates some problems. So 10 years is kind of the issue on that, the timeline, and just take a look and make sure
10
you're
years,
taking care
time
of
to
that.
go.
Yeah, get on to the next house. Much easier than repairing it. Just move, get a new one.
That's it?
That's all I got. Yeah. What can we learn from Parkinson's law? So I don't know if this is a law, it's maybe more of a theory, but we do have a definition of it. And this is something that I was talking to Kyle about not too long ago.
Kyle Dilworth?
Yeah, Kyle Dilworth.
Goosehead Insurance?
That is him. So he told me about this kind of phenomenon, and we're going to pull up the definition here on the other screen, and we'll give you guys the link and chat that in for you.
Okay.
But, we were talking about how people were not super productive and not getting more done, and they were still home all the time working.
When is
So we
this
were talking
period?
about the
Are you
home
talking about
officing.
during the virus?
No, just in general so Parkinson's law basically says that the amount of time that you allot for a task
Okay.
is how long you'll take to get it done. So if you say like, hey, this task is going to take me all day. So imagine you sit down at your computer for the day and you're like, I have 2 things to do, right? And if you allot 8 hours for it, it's going to take 8 hours. You'll put in the time for it and then utilize all of that time
Okay.
for whatever that is. If you give yourself 6 hours, somehow you'll get it done in 6 hours. It's kind of saying that humans will procrastinate
Yeah.
and they will use all of the allotted time, especially if they're employees. Right? So
Okay.
if you have employees working on something where they're specifically getting paid per hour, and you say like sweep the garage, then they're going to take as long as the time you give them, right? And they'll hustle and they'll get more done if you crush the timeline on them
Okay.
and crunch it in, so they get more done.
I'm kind of laughing because when Kyle was little.
Mm-hmm.
He had and they all got their cell phones for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
His voicemail said, "If you can dream it, you could do it," in this high-pitched voice. And so it's kind of the same thing here. It's funny that he brought that to you, because if you say you can do it in this period of time, then you will.
Mm-hmm. And the reason that I brought this up is because I thought it was appropriate for everybody, that you can get done as much as you want to get done. Mm-hmm. If you choose and say, like, I can only do one transaction at a time, then that's what you'll do. And as long as it's, you're happy with that, that's totally awesome. But what you'll find is that maybe you need to prospect more. Maybe you need to, whatever those things are.
Yeah.
So if you identify what your limiting factor is, mm-hmm. and sometimes the limiting factor is your mind.
Always.
Right? On what you think you can actually do or what you can accomplish. How you can wake up each morning and get started, but set a goal for yourself on what's possible. Mm-hmm. And eliminating this, but identifying the fact that things do constrain you. And a lot of the time, it's you constraining yourself with this.
We are also our own worst critics.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you should think about that. If you are in a comfort zone and you're like, I'm doing one transaction a month, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think we could all do more than one transaction a month. And you just have to set goals.
And then if you want to do more than
yourself.
one, then you look backwards and see what does it take to do that, right? How many more people do I need to get in front of? You all know the funnel and you know what really has to go into it.
And you have to pad it a little, because some deals are more time consuming than others. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think it goes back to goal setting. If you set your goals,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, you maybe we're allotting too much time for particular tasks.
That's the idea, or procrastinating, or not holding yourself accountable.
Because we really don't want to do anything
Yes. That's exactly kind of the idea behind this, right? Mm-hmm. Is setting yourself to a higher standard and breaking through this law or rule or whatever it happens to be, right? And you kind of have to become mindful of your time. Ironically, if you would go and set a timer for a shorter period of time, you'll find that you'll get the stuff done, right? So every once in a while, I'm like, I can only spend 10 minutes on this. So I'll set a timer when I'm working on it, and then the timer goes off and I move on. But ironically, I get it done.
Yeah.
In that 10 minutes, whatever it is.
I've learned that from you. It's helped me.
Yeah, it's really ironic, right?
Yeah.
But just remember what you have
Get out of your own way.
Yeah, pretty much. So.
All right.
All right,
Good.
so I hope you guys all kind of thought about that.
that.
And have a great day and be super productive because of it.
Allot your time wisely.
Word of the day, kids. Today's real estate word of the day is modification.
Modification. Occasionally, a lender will agree to modify the terms of your mortgage without requiring you to refinance. If any changes are made, it is called a modification or loan mod.
Yeah?
That's like the
Nice.
trendy way to say it.
It is. And this happened, early on, maybe in like 2007 when there was kind of a financial crisis. Mm-hmm. They didn't want people to get out of their homes and lose their homes. So they modified certain terms.
Yeah.
So a common thing that they modified was they either lowered the interest rate on people's loans, which was crazy. It was like unheard of. And or they extended the term.
What was that called?
What they did, they actually took and made some loans that were 30-year loans, 40-year loans, to make it easier for people to pay and stay. And the same type of thing has kind of happened with the virus as well, that there was a time period that they took a certain amount of your mortgage that you didn't have to pay for a period and added it to the end of your loan.
Supposedly. We've heard different things regarding that some of our
But that's
clients
loan
have
modification.
Yeah.
So now you kind of know.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Good.
Well, that's a wrap for us today. We got done on time. Not bad.
Well, it's 9:00.
It is.
You
So
guys go
Shauna's
out there,
outta
allot
here.
your time wisely, and have a wonderful day.
Very good. See you mañana.
Bye.
All right, put it up quick. That's all I get.
Oh.
She's got to go real quick, so. Okay. And then you'll have to use that other one somehow. Thank you, sir.